And we are again without music, and we're going to figure that out. Hopefully, by the time you're hearing this in the main feed, that's already been figured out, and you've heard Nerd Academy with music and stuff, the way God intended. I am your host, Jarod the Dark Jedi Bachman Stubbs. This is the show where your favorite nerds sit down and riff a little, and I am joined this week by the Professor Levi Baum.
Hello. You'll notice that I am not in the studio right now, and there's a reason for that, and I'm going to save that for my story. A part of my story, at least. Yeah, that's me.
And we are joined by Connor Chiquiti, the lore keeper himself.
Hello there, everyone. I'm not in the studio as well. Heck, I've never been in the studio yet. Hope you all are doing pretty well during this tumultuous time, staying safe, doing all that smooth jazz. So
smooth jazz, not just jazz, smooth jazz. Assuming we got everything correct this time, there will not be loss of audio by the end of this episode. But we'll see. Yeah, and again, we won't talk about aliens too much because you don't want to piss off the deep state again and lose the back half of the show. Oh,
or the
that's
front half.
Yeah, or the front half. This is the second time we've attempted this episode because we did already hit a speed bump, but we're not going to talk about it. Anyway, Connor, how was your week, bud?
Pretty much the same as it has been since whenever the heck the last time I was on Campus Life, which I don't remember. The only thing that's really changed is that although this episode will release in 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, I got a, what is that? Not applicant. Okay, so I applied for this online tutoring service called BrainFuse. It's this like nationwide tutoring service. They do an hourly rate. So for subjects, and like the harder the subject, the more you get paid. So right now I'm just the only two ones I did. The only two subjects. Wow, I can't speak today. The only two subjects I applied for really were history and social studies. Because in the application they ask me, what subjects do you want to tutor? And I'm like, well, I got my BA in history, so the mic's muted. I don't know why it muted for some reason.
I was about to say, I wasn't sure if that was me or... Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't... StreamYard's weird, dude. I can't remember. Anyway, applied for this online tutoring service, BrainFuse. Applied for it today, 2 weeks ago, sent it in. They got back to me today, 2 weeks ago, which is weird because in one of the emails by the main guy, he said, oh, we'll probably get back to you at least a day or a few days after you send in your application. I was like, okay, cool. That makes sense because they need time to process it and everything. Mm-hmm. And they got back to me, and I'm pretty sure they just liked what I had because I was automatically set to be a quote, trainee, or I'll have to take a few quizzes on my subject area to just like get tested on it, figure out like, you know, see that I'm not bull crapping and like you actually know what you're trying to tutor. So I'll probably take that this week, and hopefully this will be the first step that I can get to do something with history, which is what I graduated with from college in May of 2020. It didn't feel like much of a graduation because of COVID, but it's a graduation nonetheless. And I don't know if you feel this too, Levi, even though you're graduating this year. The one fear I have right now is taking a job or at least a career and having it be something I never did my degree in with college. So,
yeah, because I think history is one of them. What are you going to do? You
Yeah.
either become a teacher like me, or you just have to grind for that master's to be marketable for like a museum job or public history even. Yeah, it is difficult. They say you can do a lot of stuff with a history degree, but I think that's more dependent on who has the connections and who doesn't.
Yeah.
More so than, oh yeah, I have a history degree, so I can do this and that.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's really the only thing that's changed. Still just working.
That's still really cool,
probably
though,
just gonna
Connor. Like,
job
absolutely,
search.
congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you landed a
Thank you.
job. First year, you're making as much as I did my fourth year at my historic site. So,
Yeah.
pretty good.
It's the first step. So
Mhm.
we'll see how it goes. I mean, it sounds like it's like sort of commission based, where I can also set my own hours, which is cool because then I can set that around my like part-time work schedule that I work at a restaurant. And it just, again, repeating myself, it sounds like it's really commission based, and I'll get paid with how many students I tutor like a week or a day or so, because it's $10 an hour, which isn't bad starting off.
So you're going to shill the show to these kids, right? Like, you're going to see like a Star
Probably.
Wars poster and be like, so, you don't mind if you hear us drop a couple bombs talking about space wizards, right? Be the cool tutor.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm gonna probably ask the like quote unquote management about like what if there's a certain grade level I can tutor, or is it just kind of like out there, and I just kind of get thrown in with like middle schoolers, because I would really like to do high school.
Watch this be the accidental guerrilla marketing we've been after this whole time. Where like Connor like name drops the podcast to one student, and then out of nowhere we blow up in like a high school, and there's just like a contingent of like all the dorks in one high school that all start listening to this podcast completely by accident. That's the guerrilla marketing.
And then next thing you know, merch sales go up. Everything just blows off.
There's this entire pocket of like children whose parents are not keeping up with their streaming habits anywhere near as much as they should be, who are all actively making Cookie Cop jokes, and it's like, no, that's weird. Like, I'm not gonna tell you not to, but that wasn't the intent. We went to get dinner like after we broke the show, the last Campus Life, and we're at Eaton Park, and Mike,
oh yeah,
like out of nowhere, starts trying to pitch the podcast network to our server.
Mm-hmm.
Like out of nowhere, just goes like, "Do you like movies?" And he just like leans in, and I'm like, I'm not gonna stop him. It's Mike. It's Mike. Like, we've all tried to tell Mike no. We know how that ends.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. We've all tried to stop Mike from doing crackhead shit, and Mike doesn't undo the crackhead shit. I mean, that's better that way. But regardless, Mike's just like, yeah, we got a podcast. He almost did the entire end of show ad roll to this woman.
Wow.
I was like, I'm not even mad about it. It was hilarious. We were hanging our heads in our food. We're like, this is stupendous. Thank you. But other than that, Connor, any
he ate a lot of food when we were there.
I don't know how Mike doesn't look like me. I don't understand how he is not a big known man. He ordered
2 super burgers.
2.
And then he got other appetizers. Yeah.
And I'm guessing the super burgers at this place are like,
it's a Big Mac.
Park? Wait,
yeah,
does the East not have Eaton Park?
I don't think we do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Connor, I want you to know that just shot to the top of the list of whenever you come to visit us.
You got it. I'll look up
really
Eaton Park right now.
It's a diner. I think it's better than Denny's, but a lot of people disagree.
I don't think you can compare Eaton Park and Denny's. I on paper they're similar enough that like you can kind of flip a coin and go to either one, but I have to be in a mood for either one. Like if I'm in an Eaton Park mood, I want to be as far away from Denny's as possible. But
Eaton
if I'm
Park
in a,
seems to be easier on the stomach, definitely.
I don't know. I don't think either one has really given me an issue before. It just depends on what I want to have to eat. And I know Mike and I have the same exact order whenever we go to Denny's because we both go ape shit over the fiery sriracha burger. Which, speaking of Denny's, and you know what, I'm not going to address that part of the Denny's lore, but because that's a spoiler. But back whenever Denny's was doing like the really, really hilarious tie-in promos for Solo: A Star Wars Story, I'm pretty sure that's where that sriracha burger came from because they had the Blaster Fire burger, which was basically just a spicier version of the sriracha burger. But that
sounds familiar.
I only know that because of Solo, I started going to Denny's. Like they made that announcement. I was like, oh, that's cool. We're going to have little trading cards. I'm like, oh, that's neat. And then I found out about Therm Scissor Punch. And I was like, I am going to fight a child for a Therm Scissor Punch trading card. I'm pretty sure. And here's the sad part about that. I'm like 99% sure they're somewhere in Spencer's glove box.
So go fight Spencer for them.
Yeah, so I got to go get my Solo trading cards back from Spencer at some point. I keep forgetting that I'm pretty sure he has them in his car. But alas, those are not accessible to me at the moment. But yeah. Levi.
What?
How was your week, bud? So dry. I never...
What?
I'm just laughing at how dry that was. I love you. Don't never change.
My week has been non-eventful for the most part. I'm no longer working at Big Shop Bob's. I think I said that last week. I'm just taking these 2 weeks, 1 half week now, to just be myself, be with myself, be away from the people who don't wear masks.
I don't think you did mention that you were stepping away from Big Shop Bob's. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. Going back to school, student teaching. This coming Monday, I start, actually.
Neato.
Yes. Now, I go to St. Vincent College. St. Vincent's a private school. May or may not have money on any given day. Apparently, they have enough money to make every student get tested for COVID-19 because it is doing on-campus stuff. So I signed myself up to get a free testing at St. Vincent. That was today. And it's none of this 2-week crap anymore. So I got a very, like scientific medical Q-tip shoved up my nose, both nostrils. And
yeah, I got that. It sucks.
And it tickles, and I think it smells weird too. I don't know why it smells weird.
That's just you smelling your own gray matter on the way out. That's all.
Yeah. By some miracle, my right nostril did not start bleeding. So I'm happy for that. But yeah, it's going to be 2 to 3 days until I get my results. They want me to quarantine for those 2 to 3 days. And I guess the reasoning is they don't want the results to be outdated should I get quarantine in those 2 to 3 days. But I guess it's okay for me to get COVID after my results come in. Doesn't make sense to me. I think it's the most useless medical policy that there is. But I'm going to play along just because I know the education department gets real anal about following rules, so I'm gonna follow the rules.
Levi, I need to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I hear the clicking. Are you playing League while we're doing the show?
Oh, do you hear the clicking? I'm sorry, I'll stop.
You don't have to. You don't have
wow,
to.
That's
No,
good, because I don't hear anything.
Levi, I think you forget that Travis beat an entire Assassin's Creed game during Campus Life.
Yeah, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. If Connor can't hear it, anybody watching probably can't. I just thought it was funny, and I was like,
"That's because I already closed it."
Oh, you shouldn't have. I was just like, Levi is definitely playing League of Legends right now.
Yeah, because yeah. While we're talking about League of Legends, no, I'll save that until the end of the story because I'm almost done. So with my rant, but yeah, the ed department really, really wants us to follow all the rules, and they make you feel like crap if you act like an actual college student. So it's just whatever, I'm a commuter anyway. I don't really frequent the campus, especially since I'm just student teaching now.
Yeah.
However, I will say if I don't get my results in the 2 to 3 days like they promised, I'm not quarantining anymore. Because I do have friends coming back up. Got to see them before I start student teaching. Maybe show them around ye old Lloydsville. But
bring them on a day where I'm working.
when are you working? Because I'm bringing them Saturday.
Well, never mind.
Join us.
Yeah, probably will, honestly.
Yeah.
That's one of the nice things about working at a bar is that you can go to a place and not have that weird, like, I shouldn't be here because the Rona moment. Is that I'm already in here all the time. And that's one of the reasons why, if it were not for the fact that almost everybody I know is a frontline worker, working in equally precarious conditions across the board, I would be a lot more, don't touch me, I'm sterile.
Yeah.
But you were, just left BSB and, had a lot of COVID deniers up there in and out. Travis works at a Walmart.
Yeah.
Point in case. Mike talks about all the people at the factory who just, COVID isn't real. And you've listened to this podcast before. Most of my stories boil down to old people who don't believe in the real world. So if it weren't for the fact that all of us are already so on the front lines, and Connor, you'd be 100% in on this too if you were
just
nearby.
Reminded me of a short story I can definitely tell.
Okay.
With the old people, because it twists it around.
Though I almost did a spit take. You guys couldn't see it, but I was.
You'll really like this one, Jarod. It's really short. I was these two old guys came in, and both had masks and everything, because that's our restaurant policy, because of the state and everything. And they come in, and I'm putting silverware down at their table. And the guy shows me a photo on his phone, and it said something like, you don't have to wear a mask or whatever, faith over fear, or something to do with God. And at first I got confused, but because at first I thought he was advocating for that. But then him and I start talking, and it's no, he thinks that this is a bunch of this COVID denier crap, especially on a religious angle, is a bunch of bull crap. And so I'm just standing there this is perfect.
Don't you love it when you get pleasantly surprised? Don't you love it when you get pleasantly surprised? Yeah. I wasn't there for it. There's this one regular who's always at the club named Wade. And he's generally he's very much the get me my beer and leave me alone. Aside from that, rather pleasant. so long as he's not already in a mood, but whatever. And just because of the clientele, and again, you've listened to this podcast before, you know that people at that club kind of lean a certain way. And I still want to take a poll and see how many of them believe in QAnon, because I'm not 100% sold that we don't have at least 5 Q people who are regulars. Different story, different day. Anyway, I kind of assume that everybody who comes in is like staunch, stop the steal, like Trump photoshopped onto Superman's body on a t-shirt, MAGA
like
hat.
the My Pillow guy.
What?
Like the My Pillow guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think everybody. I assume everybody who comes into Lloydsville is at the very least on the same level as the My Pillow guy. Thank you for that, Levi.
Yep.
So, and I was not there for this, and it upsets me so much. But there was but if I have the story straight, there was a handful of Trumpers at the bar who were all talking about how the election was stolen, blah, 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 2-3 weeks ago. And then Wade, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because, Hugo Chavez and something Dominion voting machine, something deep state, something Democrats eating babies, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Wade, apparently having had enough, surprised everybody in the room and started talking about how much of a dipshit he thinks anybody has to be to think any of that's true, how much of a dipshit you have to be to still be following Trump, how much of a dipshit you had to have been to have voted for him in the first place. And he just went off. You have no idea how happy it makes me when some of the people who come into this bar go ape shit on a Trump supporter. I feel it's nirvana. I'm a very spiritual person. I think that's what nirvana feels like, is seeing somebody who you were like, you probably have a MAGA bumper sticker, go full riding with Biden on somebody's ass. It's beautiful. It's a work of art.
Jarod, I need to see you in my restaurant because I have a bunch of management who are openly Trump.
I just don't. I truly don't understand how you can be in still after everything.
I think one of them isn't anymore because of the insurrection, which is still kind of it took you that much. You can always bring that question up. But it was funny because when I was bar back in, I think it was a Friday night or whatever, when it was super dead, before he left to go home, because he was a 3 to 9 shift or something, or 12 to 8, I can't remember. But he legitimately espoused the same exact rhetoric, almost verbatim, of, the Democrats are going to, bring in immigrants and they're all going to vote Democrat because the Democrats brought you in, they allowed you citizenship and everything. So they're going to vote Democrat forever. And and the best thing was this. He's like, we're never going to get a Republican in office again. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I just read a Twitter thread that said almost the exact same thing.
Isn't it weird how normal people, normal people, exactly what you're saying, Connor, sound like Fox News hosts now? Just Joe Donut. If you try to have a conversation with somebody about politics, it sounds like you're talking to Tucker Carlson. It's the same. It's almost like the same cadence and tone. It weirds me out, and maybe it's just because that's what I'm surrounded by all day long at work.
No, I think there's definitely some historical merit to be had with that. Well, not merit, but sort of historical data or study to be had with that sort of thing. I think you can definitely
because it sounds like they're reading off of the teleprompter. Because it sounds like most of the time when I have to get when somebody goes on a political tirade while I'm at work, all that's missing is the chyron and the news ticker. That's all that's missing. So anyway, I'm sorry,
Connor,
Levi.
were you What were you getting at when you said like there's historical?
I was saying like there's probably some sort of like study or data that like you could probably do that would pretty much show 1-to-1 some of the people that watch like MSNBC or Fox News just all day, every day. It sort of becomes their own political personality, and they don't know anything but it.
That's absolutely right. That is definitely on both sides. 100%.
Yeah. That's how they're designed.
Yep. And so I really hope that the fairness doctrine, not to get really political, but like in my limited political diving intos, I hope the fairness doctrine gets what's the word? Re-upped. I know there's a better word to use that, but I just hope it gets in again. I hope we use it again. So,
well, I think that the weird everybody speaks like they're either a Fox News or MSNBC host syndrome kicks in. It happens in two different ways. Like both sides do it, but it happens in very differently. Like on one hand, if it's like, oh yes, my entire political identity is based around MSNBC or CNN, kind of devolves into Orange Man bad.
Yeah.
Without any real critique of policy beyond Orange Man bad, he's very rude, which
maybe the occasional Russia.
Yeah. Throw in Mueller, Russia, Mueller, and a lot. And because I have an unhealthy obsession with the online far right, I listen to a podcast that like covers QAnon, and it's all about QAnon.
Apparently, there's a show.
There's a new
Vice.
Yes. I was talking about it to Travis the other night. I watched part 1. It's so good. Watch it. It's good.
Okay.
And it's funny enough, the podcast I'm talking about shows up in that documentary. Like they actually call on them as contributors. So
wow.
It was so weird. I squealed when I heard their voices. But you have the weird like Orange Man bad type stuff going on. And I've heard this podcast, QAnon Anonymous, highly recommend them, talking about how they feel like we might be on the verge of a blue Q, which is basically the Democrat version of Trump's going to be arrested any day now. And I got bad news for you. Maybe he might be. Homeboy has a lot of stuff waiting for him in the Southern District of New York. And I think that a lot of people are waiting to see how the impeachment goes before they start actually pressing those charges. Or nothing becomes of them because Donald Trump has gotten away with all kinds of weird crimes his entire life. And that's beside the point. And
that happens in 2 weeks, right?
I think next week is when the impeachment trial starts.
So this episode will be after that. So
this will be out by the time we're like halfway through the impeachment trial. And then the next episode of Campus Life will probably just be Travis and I screaming for the entirety of it because we know what's going to happen. Anyway, this has been hijacked completely, Levi. I apologize. This is how the aliens happened. This is how we ended up on fucking Aliens the last time. There's this weird like rabbit hole sidebar conversations. Anyway. So, League of Legends, Levi?
My favorite mode, Earth, is coming back this patch, which got installed today, and it's supposed to be here, but Earth is never on time. So I logged in, very disappointed to see that my beautiful Earth is not here. So gonna be waiting for that. It's always a bright spot in my life when Earth is here because it's just good fun. but yeah, it's still not here in North America. So
That's always
oh well.
rough. I did
Yeah.
that to myself, not understanding like whatever the timetable is that game developers use for whenever they drop patches, at least whatever Battlefront did. Because what I ended up doing to myself was I was like, okay, Battlefront drops at midnight.
Mm,
It did not drop at midnight. It dropped at 2:30 in the morning.
yeah.
So I'm like,
Nice.
I booted it up. I'm like, okay, let's go. Start. Oh,
Yep.
I'm going back to bed now.
Yeah, Earth is always late. I don't know why that is,
That
but
sucks.
it is. Yeah.
You've been
The
doing
rest of
well
the
though.
patch is here. Relatively well, yeah. So anyone who does play League, I'm not good. But I climbed farther than I've ever been before, mostly because I've just been playing more ranked. I'm in Bronze 2 right now, which isn't good. And it's not a good time for me either, because I've been playing with people above my weight class, and I've picked up habits from them. So I can confidently say that I am better than the people I'm playing with in ranked. So it kind of ticks me off when my teammates are playing like bronze players. So yeah, I really, 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 really want to get out of bronze to the Holy Land, where people know what a ward is, and will place them in bushes, and can you so you can see the mini map, a place where people look at the mini map, maybe, and I've heard it exists. It isn't bronze though. I'm speaking as a jungle main. I used to be top, and then I switched to support, and then I switched to jungle, specifically to main a champion called Warwick, because I was sick and tired of having fed Warwicks on the other team. So I said to myself, okay, I have to be the fed Warwick. And something just clicked.
If you can't beat
And
him,
I
join him.
play. Oh my god, I love Warwick. He's basically like a werewolf. He's not really a werewolf, but and I think he's actually one of the scarier champions, at least in lore and execution in gameplay.
Yeah.
Because he has a just omnipresent, or an omnipresence around the map. So like if you are below 50% HP, you are hunted by Warwick. He can smell you, and he runs faster if he's going in your direction. And there's a blood trail that shows up on your screen if you're playing Warwick, and you can follow it. You know where that person who's bleeding out is. So like if you're pushed up too far, and you don't start backing up soon enough, out like a bat out of hell, the enemy Warwick will be sprinting and jumping at you, and you just can't do anything about it. So it just clicks with me. I'm amazing mechanically with Warwick for my elo, which isn't saying much, but yeah, I just want to get out of the ranks where Master Yi is able to snowball and win. There's no reason I should ever lose to Master Yi, but it happens all the time because people just don't look at the map. Yeah, that's my rant. My second rant. Yeah.
Nothing
I
but
live
respectable
with-
rants.
People lived with my my 4 other college roommates. They were all esport. They were all gamers, and they
Okay.
created an esports team.
Oh, that's cool.
And my one roommate the one I actually lived with, he played League a lot, and you'd think I'd learn something. Still don't know jack squat about any of it, which is fine. So
I hope that one day every one of us in here has an internet that is fast enough to play League of Legends so that I can teach you how to play League of Legends and just to see how bad everyone is.
Oh god, I'd be terrible. Like I'm terrible at like just other games in general. I'm just not much of a gamer.
Yeah.
So this would probably
I think your PlayStation history you put in the chat begs to fucking differ, Connor.
Okay, that's Star Wars. There's a different. There's
fair, but Jesus H. Christ. You don't get to say, oh, I'm not much of a gamer. Here's 1,800 hours in Jedi Fallen Order. I'm not much of a gamer. Making it sound like your PlayStation's a paperweight. Get out of here with that bullshit.
Yeah, I think what I mean
that's
to
just
say.
one game.
Yeah.
And it's independent too.
And it's single player. I think what I mean to say is I'm not much of when it comes to competitive gaming, such as online gaming in Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, League of Legends, that's not really my style.
Busted your balls. That makes sense.
And I'm not that good at it. So I think that's what I meant to say before I said, I'm not much of a gamer.
So basically, Connor, what I mean when I say people don't look at the mini-map, and it's usually the bot lane for some reason in my games at least. So the objective of League of Legends is to destroy the enemy team's big shiny gem in their base called the Nexus. But in order to do so, you have to completely destroy at least one lane. And in each lane, there are 3 turrets, and then a small gem called an inhibitor. And it's a good thing if you destroy one, because then you'll get super minions that spawn that help you siege their base. And then after the inhibitor are 2 other towers, and then the Nexus. So the bot lane is comprised of an attack damage carry champion who are supposed to like just farm up, get a lot of money, get items, do damage, be good, and support whose job is to keep your idiot ADC or AD carry alive, which is a Herculean task in and of itself because they're all idiots. But in my games, both the support and the ADC are idiots because between all the lanes are areas of the map called the jungle. And the jungler, which is me, goes into the jungle and farms these neutral monster camps to get experience and money, and then visit lanes when it's advantageous to them, which is called a gank, and helps to kill or just get an advantage in that lane. So if you're pushed too far up, you can get flanked by the enemy jungler and that enemy bot lane. It's a 3 versus 2, and you don't want to be in that situation. But my God, my bot lane always loves to be in that situation. They just never put vision in the jungle. And they always perma push. And whenever there's a Master Yi on the enemy team who gets completely shut down by any form of crowd control, like if you're able to stop him in his tracks, Yi is a non-issue. And he's a non-issue as long as he doesn't get fed either. But he always gets fed. Like he'll get a double kill in the bot lane, and what does my bot lane say? Oh shucks, we'll try again. Try the same thing again. Hard shove bot, give another double kill to Master Yi. This Master Yi was 26-4. 26 kills to 4 deaths in like a 40-minute game. Stupid. That should never happen, but it does. And like I was out farming him or out jungling him too. I was getting more objectives early on, but because my bot lane refuses to buy a ward or keep from hard shoving, that there is nothing you can do about a fed ye. So, at least in my elo hell. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's where I am right now. I just want to get out of bronze into silver, the holy land where people know what a ward is.
You'll get there eventually, bud. I know you will.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not good enough to carry that heavy an anchor. Yeah.
You will be. You will be. Thank you, Connor. I'm practicing because I got to be on Around the Galaxy at some point in the next couple weeks. And I gotta get my shit done. Okay. A side note. Maybe this is out, but like after the fact when I've already been on Around the Galaxy. We've worked with Pete several times. I have been on air with Pete Fletcher several times. I don't know why the shit I am so nervous for being interviewed on Around the Galaxy. Like, legitimately nervous to be interviewed. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why this is oh, this is so weird. I don't know why I am so nervous to be on Around the Galaxy.
I would assume because it's Pete and you know his production value.
That's definitely a part of it. It's not helping that, like, I watched his 100th episode last night, which was him interviewing the author of the Revenge of the Sith novel. Yep. And oh my God, it was so good. And I gotta follow Matthew fucking Stover as an episode. How granted, it's probably not gonna be for like another 2 to 3 weeks. So like this will probably be out before I'm on Around the Galaxy. But sweet baby Christ, I am so nervous to be on his show, and I don't know why. Because I respect him. I love the show. I love what he does, and like obviously we've had him on a few times. I've been on Bombad Cast, and like that's not the show he hosts, obviously, but I've been on Bombad. I've been on like Beyond the Blast Doors Live. I've been on the call-in shows. Like I've done that. I've shared airtime with Pete before. I'm nervous, and it's weird. I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, and I've not been nervous about this kind of thing until now. Anyway, little group therapy.
No, dude, I think I'm the same way, but like it depends on the podcast, really. Like for instance, Claire of Imperial Senate podcast, which you should all check out. They're very
yes, absolutely.
Claire, Nikki, and Charlie are just a very fun and eclectic, I'd say, group of people that just talk about Star Wars. They love it. And they could go on forever. They pretty much have gone on forever for many of their episodes talking about it. And it's various topics within the universe. Claire is currently doing a Jedi Fallen Order playthrough on Twitch.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And it's very interesting to see her go through it. It's fun. It definitely has its of funniness, which is a lot.
If you want funny Fallen Order content, I wish there was video because Alexis finally beat Fallen Order.
Oh, she did.
She did. So like Fallen Order, like you can post as many things about Fallen Order in the chat as you want now, Connor.
What about Mike?
Oh, God damn it, Mike.
Yeah,
too. I keep forgetting Mike isn't done yet. We're strapping Mike down and we're marathoning him. But this is so messed up to say. She enjoyed it. She liked it a lot. She said multiple times she thinks Cal might be one of her new favorite characters. So he's definitely up there for her. So most of the time, whenever she'd play it, she'd share play it, and I'd play on my brother's PlayStation so I could watch. And we either be in a party or like on FaceTime or some shit like that. And the horrible things she said fighting Trilla. She may or may not have used Billy Butcher's favorite word a couple times.
Oh man!
Like several times, dropped some C-bombs on Trilla, and I was in stitches listening to her do because I feel bad because she was getting worked up fighting her, and getting frustrated and got to that, like, I need to put the controller down. I need to get some fresh air. I need to walk away from this game for a little bit. And I didn't want to, I felt bad laughing because I didn't want to laugh at her sorrow and frustration. But suck it up, you dumb. You didn't have to turn to the dark side. May or may not have been like something akin to what she said out loud while playing the game. And I was howling. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that would have broken me too.
Yeah, again, sweet Lexi, is a very, 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 very agreeable person to hang out with. Colin Trilla just dropping that bomb left and right.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away her story of fighting Vader. I'm not going to take that away. But when the game loaded her in, just like, you would be wise to surrender. Yeah, probably. After that, her reaction to realizing it was go time with Vader was I'm glad I got to witness it.
But I was just set, but I just wanted to continue really quick. Just like, I don't want to plug myself or anything, but like, if they got me on for that to just talk with Claire about it, like just her experience and whatever, I probably would be nervous too. Not gonna lie,
dude. I think that would be a great idea.
Podcast.
I think you have carved out an amazing niche in the community as the Fallen Order guy.
Yeah, and like it's weird because it's definitely similar to historians having that sort of specialization that they have, like Civil War, like the Civil War era, or the Revolution, or Nat Turner's Slave Rebellion, and being all and having a very niche topic and studying just that, really.
The
and
fashion
sort of
hats in the 1750s.
That too. And so you're right, Jarod, that I've definitely have that sort of niche part of Star Wars with me, and I've carved out that niche community, but at the same time, it feels odd because it's like, it sort of goes into my problem really with not really a problem with Star Wars, just my personal problem with Star Wars when it comes to me, and not the quality of Star Wars, which is just, I usually focus in on this piece of content for so long, and just I delve into it so much that I sort of push everything else aside and sort of just shunt it all away. And that's not really the case anymore. I'm slowly like shedding Fallen Order slowly by like reading the High Republic, getting into that. It's really cool. If you got, for those that are into Star Wars, but not really the extended stuff, and you see these and you start seeing these ads about High Republic, totally check it out. It's an entirely new era in Star Wars, brand new cast of characters. They're all really cool. Great new enemy, great new antagonist in the Nile. It's really cool. There's my plug for the High Republic.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I want this to turn into the High Republic discussion, because we are going to be doing an episode of Nights that is solely like recapping Test of Courage, Light of the Jedi, Into the Dark, and some of the comics very soon. And I plan on doing like every couple months a like High Republic story so far, to keep up with this new era. But that said, in every single version of the audiobooks I've listened to, I'm a little bit into the dark. I've finished Light of the Jedi, and I'm almost done with Test of Courage. Consistently, it is pronounced the Nihil, and I hate it. I hate it so much. At first I thought it was just in Light of the Jedi, because Charles Soule said that the Light of the Jedi narration mispronounces the main villain's name, and that it is not Marchion Ro, but is Marchion Ro. It's kind of like Gal Gadot, where like some people say Gal Gadot, some people say Gal Gadot. It's supposed to be a little bit of both. where like it's Gal Gadot, not you got to put them together and you get the right pronunciation. Same thing here, where it's not Marchion or Marchion, it's Marchion Rowe, from what I understand. I think.
Huh.
The Nihil.
I didn't know that for either of those.
Darth Nihil is.
Darth Nihil is.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like that pronunciation, but I've always pronounced it Nile.
Yeah, same. And I'm so looking forward to whose name did I absolutely butcher when we were, last High Republic thing, and then I'll tell my story, and then we can wrap up. The Trandoshan Jedi. I am on record whenever we first saw the concept art for him for calling him Sisker. It's Skier. You had a hiss. It's Skier.
Skier. I thought like you had to hold the second S.
You do. You do. You have to hiss it to pronounce it correctly. But I was completely wrong by calling him Sisker. And just pronouncing both S's and then it going into the K. Like completely pronouncing his name phonetic or how it looked. I just sounded his name out completely. Anyway.
Jarod, how was your week?
So I am kind of in love with how this week for our $10 patrons who are hearing this on Thursday the 4th, and for anybody hearing it a week later, the week before.
It's a week later? Oh.
Yeah, it feels like 2 weeks. It's patrons get it a week, like the same week. And then another Thursday later is Campus Life.
Oh, okay.
So like,
okay.
Yeah, that for anybody who's recording Campus Life, it feels like you're only doing it every 2 weeks. That is no longer a thing because Movie Club and I don't get breaks anymore. And I'm not complaining because I love doing this shit. But anyway, the end of the Nerd Academy podcast, the episode where we talked about episode 4 of WandaVision. To make that simple. I ran out real quick because I had to use the bathroom. We were reaching the end of the show. And mostly to be funny, I was like, I'm going to the bathroom. Travis, wrap up the episode. So I go to run inside and I look at the back porch and it's snowing. Like at this point, it's been a full blizzard. Like the streets are covered, sidewalks are covered, cars are buried. And like this part of the town, always like because we're like all inside of side streets at this point. Snowplows are kind of the get to us last. And I come out and I see my mom and my little sister holding this little adorable cat. And I'm like, this is a new development. And my mom gives me the very quick and dirty of cat showed up on the porch. And she's soaking wet and freezing cold. And we're trying to get her fed. And my mom had called one of her friends who works for like a kitty rescue type deal to come retrieve the cat. And help her, find her home if she ran away from a home or find a new home. Whichever comes first. Or whichever one happens. Whatever. So I'm like, okay. I run inside, go to the bathroom, come back out, tear ass into the studio, look at Travis and go, hey, there's a cat. And then the episode ends. So we gave you a little post-credit scene of that story. Now you get to actually hear it. So we, like I said, we're trying to keep the cat contained and like try to warm her up. And my mom, who was like hesitant, I was like, just put her in the studio. Just put her in the studio. She'll be fine. And my mom was like, I don't know. She might act a fool in there. There's a lot of stuff in there that could get broken and or break the cat if the cat gets a little rambunctious. And I was like, yeah, but she's also soaking wet and freezing cold. And after the cat bolted, like the cat almost got away from us, ran across the street and just started hiding under my brother's car. So at this point, while my mom is like running back inside to prepare tuna so that we can lure the cat out from under the car, I am laying down in the snow in jeans and a t-shirt. Like I was only wearing what I wore on that episode. So I'm just jeans and my corruption shirt. So I'm like flush with the ground, face and hands in the snow. Like, here, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty. Like, trying to lure this cat out. And again, other fun fact, almost everybody in my family is allergic to cats. I'm allergic to cats. My mom's allergic to cats. My dad is really allergic to cats. My mom and I have it better than my dad, but our allergies will still hit that wall. So I'm like, because it is not rare for people to come tearing ass down our street, pretending they don't understand that there's a pedal on the left that slows the car down. And knowing how bad the roads were getting, I was not prepared to like let the cat just come back to us and hope she stayed put under the car, even though I knew she would, and she did. I wasn't going to take that chance because I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I just rolled the dice and something went wrong. So, like I said, just get like it laying down in the snow, like, here, kitty, here, kitty, here, kitty. We get her out, we bring her into the studio, and she's just hanging out and vibing. Now, at this point, if you follow me on Twitter or follow the Nerd Academy podcast on Twitter, which you should be, this is the point where I start taking pictures of this adorable little cat. And I'm like, okay, kitty rescue is going to be here soon. I'm going to get shots of this cat looking cute in our studio because we earned this and she's adorable. And she's just hanging out. She's just chilling, looking around. She eats her tuna. She drinks some of the milk and just plops down. Is just sitting there like a loaf.
Mm-hmm.
Cat rescue shows up and can smell the other cats in the kennel. And then the kitty turned into a nightmare, like out of nowhere. Like immediately just starts hissing at the kitty rescue person and darts behind the bookcase. So I'm standing up now. You guys can't see what I'm gesturing at, but you've all seen the studio, so you know what I'm talking about. So the cat is about here, where Master Chief is, right? Kitty rescue lady comes in through the door, which is over here. Cat runs around and like tears ass through the bookcase, pops out back through the bottom shelf below where my Kylo Ren helmet is. Starts scratching at everybody because she wants left the hell alone now because she doesn't know what the next step is for her. So at this point, the cat that has been so agreeable, aside from getting spooked and running under the car, she has not been mean at all. And at this point is very upset with what we're trying to do. So we start trying to like lure her out with food, starts clawing, just refuses to go in the kennel of her own volition. So kitty rescue sets up a little like cat trap, which I did not know existed. But basically she'll walk in, steps on a pressure plate, the back end of it closes, she's in there and there's food and water already in there and blankets, so she's cozy. Because she has made up her mind that she is not coming out from behind the bookcase, and at this point has already almost pulled the Vegeta lava lamp Travis got me for Christmas down on herself. Like, we came really close to this cat trying to pull the lava lamp down on her, which, please don't do that, kitty. We get the trap set up, and I'm convinced that because we've already fed her, she's not going to be hungry enough to take the bait for a while. And is so pissed off at everybody, she's not going to budge. So we're like, okay, we laid out the food, put some of the food in the trap, had the actual food in the trap for her for when it's time to go. And we're like, well, you know, it's at this point, it's been like 2-3 hours of just trying to lure the cat out. At this point, my mom looks like she's been attacked by a wolverine. So does her friend with cat rescue. I'm not getting close because I don't know like how at what point I'm not going to be able to breathe anymore. And I'm already feeling my chest get tight just being in the studio. So we're like, okay, we're just going to leave the cat be. I'm like, okay. So I come inside, trap set. I'm going to go to the bathroom, get myself something to eat. And then I'm going to come out and edit and just keep an eye on the goddamn cat until they take the bait. In the time that it took me to like make my plate, the cat just needed everybody to leave it the fuck alone. It's all that needed to happen. We walk away for 3 minutes. My brother's outside taking out the dog, and he heard the door on the cage close. Immediately. Like, she just wanted everybody to leave, went right in. 2 hours trying to, like, coax this cat, negotiate with the cat. Didn't matter. She was just leave me alone. I'll do it on my own. So that was the end of the saga of the Nerd CAT-emy. Oh, Levi, you can groan all you want. That's the title of the episode, bud.
Goodbye.
Oh, he actually did it. Oh my gosh.
The deep state made him do it.
Wow. That was perfectly timed too, if that was intentional, which I don't know if it was, but
well, with that, Connor, where can the lovely people find you?
If I don't get like, if the deep state doesn't get me somehow in the next week or so, they can find me on Twitter at Depa Banana. They can find me on Instagram at ConFO. They can find me on Facebook, admin in the Alliance of Star Wars Fanatics, a positive, respectful, and constructive Star Wars Facebook group where we really just want to talk Star Wars and not worry about any of the blatant negativity and hatred that permeates throughout it. And you can find me on... No, that's about it. Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, that's all you can really find me on. Just Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Before I do the normal plugs, I do want to shout out another project I'm getting involved in. I will be talking about this on Knights of the Nerd Republic regularly, but do want to start talking about it a little bit here and there before on the other shows before things really get going. Thanks to Eli from Star Wars in a Galaxy podcast. Much love to the homie. I am a part of a Star Wars trivia fan league, similar to the Movie Trivia Schmodown. It's called the Movie Trivia Force Down.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, I'm very excited to be a part of it. At time of record, my first match is this Sunday. So whenever this is out on the main feed, it'll be the most recent match up on the YouTube channel, I believe. I'm actually playing Eli. We're facing off against each other in the singles division. And there is a teams division where after nearly a decade, I think just over a decade actually, of a bitter Star Wars trivia rivalry, Spencer, the Mandalorian Simpson, and the Dark Jedi are finally getting to join forces on a team. The name of the team is just the Knights of the Nerd Republic because we shill hard. I was thinking about going with the Jedi Lords, which was a term used by the Jedi at one point, very obscure. It was used during the Great Sith War against Darth Bane, that era. And I thought that'd be a fun name to use. But I was like, no, brand recognition is more important. So Knights of the Nerd Republic it is. But be sure to check out the Movie Trivia Force Down. They are on YouTube. They do upload their matches on Sundays. Just like us, they are still trying to figure out their whole operation and figure out what they're doing. So please check them out. And join the Facebook group. Look them up on Facebook. And yeah, they're basically open to all comers. So keep your eyes on that. Be ready to compete in some trivia. I was trying to get some more of the Nerd Academy crew to join in. It looked like it was only me and Spencer who wanted blood. So I don't even think Spencer's going to be competing in singles. But he and I both went, oh, we could be on the same team for the first time ever. Yes, please. So yeah, please tune in for that. Check it out. Help support a homegrown fan league. Obviously, you guys know all of us here at the Movie Trivia Schmodown. Jesus Christ, yeah, wishful thinking. A little bit of a Freudian slip there. All of us here at the Nerd Academy are Schmodown fans to varying degrees. You know, some of us here just like to watch with company. Some here only watch a Star Wars division. Some like Star Wars and Inner Geekdom. And Travis and I watch all of it. And you know, if you watch the number one contender podcast, the show where we talk all things movie trivia Schmodown. But all that said, it is really cool to get to help a new grassroots fan league up off the ground. I'm really excited to get to compete. I'm excited to be in the first class of competitors. Yeah, so go check that out. Like I said, the match I'm competing in will be out by the time the main feed is hearing this, and in time for our patrons to go subscribe in anticipation for the matchup. That said, you can find Levi at Levi_bomb, Professor Levi on Twitter, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com. Or if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page. If you're not already a patron, hearing this the week of, shout out to our $10 alumnus, Zach Knaus, Case and Breon, Delta 9, and the Waffle Wizard. Those cats get to hear this for a week early. That's English. They get to hear this a week early. Same with Movie Club whenever it's that show's week. So check out the $10 tier. If not, $5 tiers where you get access to the tie-in audio commentaries for Nerd Academy Movie Club. This month we're doing Ryan Coogler movies for Black History Month. I'll be doing Fruitvale Station, Creed 1, and Creed 2. Tune in for Heroic History 101, the other $5 tier Patreon show, where Travis and I, to tie in with both The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and with Black History Month, are following some of the Sam Wilson Captain America run of comics. And check out the Knights of the Nerd Republic versus series on the $5 tier. We just did Rey Skywalker versus Barra Sophie, and for March, we are going to be doing Kyle Katarn versus Darth Malgus. So stay tuned for all of that. Very excited. We have a lot of really interesting versus matchups prepped for this season, mostly because we want the tournament to be impossible at the end of the year. We are doing our best to make future Jarod and Spencer's jobs obscenely difficult. That said, if you would like to support the Nerd Academy podcast even further, you can check out our TeePublic, which is linked on the student store on our website. We can get all manner of Nerd Academy goodies. You saw the pillow behind me when I stood up. You see the stickers on the water bottle and on my laptop. Shirts, hoodies, phone cases, magnets, tote bags, you name it, we got it. Get some TNAP merch. All of that said, thank you so much for listening. Get back to class.